just to keep you on your toes, what did you watch last week?
Oh, Quiet Place Part 2. Watched that. It was, I would say, a very good sequel. It would be helpful if you watched A Quiet Place again, which also was a fantastic movie. I was a little concerned with John Krasinski coming back because, the first movie didn't really need a sequel. Like I felt like it was a really good self-contained story. But now I'm like, okay, are you going to do this and make it feel like a cheap cash grab? Or are you actually going to make the story have some real substance? And he did. The sequel is pretty good. It's got a nice continuation flow to it. And totally worth watching. Go to themovieblog.com. You can read my review right there.
I actually got a chance to see A Quiet Place as well, which is surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with what you said. It was really important to watch that first film again. I don't know what you can say. I know I don't have any embargoes on what I can say. But I will say this: the next film picks up immediately after the first film. Like the second the first film ended, the second film picks right up from at that moment. Anything else?
I mean, what else did I see? I mean, I already saw Spiral, mediocre at best.
Really?
I just didn't. They're running out of ideas. Like for Saw, these Saw movies are running out of ideas. I don't know, man. Like I don't know why Chris Rock felt like this was gonna be something dynamically or dramatically different. It wasn't.
Right.
It didn't even need Chris Rock. It didn't need Sam Jackson. Like those were both roles that unfortunately these actors did not have. Maybe a little Sam Jackson, because he had one flashback scene that was kind of like, okay, I could see this being Sam Jackson doing this, but outside of that, the story, everything, the motivations, the only slight difference is like, okay, the reason behind the killer is slightly different, but outside of that, same traps, still kind of gruesome. So if you want to just go there for the gruesome traps, yeah, all right, but it's not pushing the franchise forward at all. Like it's not, the previous movies, even though they were going downhill a little bit, at least they introduced a new wrinkle and you'd be like, oh, word, oh, that person that I saw from part 2 is coming back in part 6. And at least you had some fun with that because it gave you the impression that it was one big story and we kept unraveling little parts. But this feels like a C-boot. It's like a sequel, but a reboot at the same time. And I'm just like, who asked for this? I don't care. So yeah, whatever, man. It wasn't impressive to me.
That's interesting because I've been seeing the director constantly going around the country, like promoting the heck out of this film. I think he's been on Instagram Live a lot, just trying to get people to talk about this film. He's doing a whole bunch to promote it, and he keeps emphasizing that this is not another Saw, right? He keeps saying this is Spiral. It takes place in the same world as Saw, but it's not another Saw. And I'm like, dude, you directed like 3 or 4, like a couple Saw movies, more than one. How can you say that?
I don't know what he's talking about. He's lying. This is another Saw movie. It's not good. It's not good. And this is so formulaic. It's literally following all the same beats as any other Saw movie. Same beats. Like you could even predict who the killer is if you just really pay attention. But like if you just go in there and be like, man, whatever, just entertain me, then it's a mild surprise. But
so it's like one of those movies you could just telegraph.
I feel like it telegraphs itself, but that's only if you pay attention to patterns. You know, if you pay attention to patterns and you're like, oh, every time I see this, I know that's not the killer. When I don't see this, that's got to obviously be the killer. So that's what I'm saying. It's so formulaic. I'm like, I guess this halfway through the movie, and maybe that's too late, whatever. But you know, when it finally was revealed, I was like, man, don't care.
You know what? I wasn't super excited to see it. I don't even know if it's still on. It was never on my radar. I'm gonna be honest with you. This movie was never on my radar. Chris Rock crossing into horror wasn't on my radar.
It's totally fine if you skip this movie.
No, but you know what I told you what I'm going to see. I'm gonna go see The Conjuring. I'm gonna go see The Conjuring 3. I gotta watch Conjuring 1 and 2. So, okay. Clearly, you're hinting at something. You can't spoil it.
I can't talk about it until June 1st.
You can't talk about it at all?
No social reactions, nothing. All embargoed, sir.
All right, so how about this? You can't talk about Saw or the Conjuring 3 at all. Do Correct. I need to see 1 and 2 to understand 3?
I would say no, but hold on. There is a movie you should go see to be a nice refresher. I just need to make sure it's the right one I'm thinking about. And I believe it is Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh, Annabelle. Aren't there like more than one Annabelle movie? Yeah, there's like 3 of them. These all take place in The Conjuring?
Yes. It's because The Conjuring kind of started it all off. And then everything else was a spinoff from The Conjuring.
Wait a minute. So there's a movie universe out here that
people ain't talking about? Where have you been? Right. Yeah. The whole Conjuring universe. So The Conjuring... if you watch the first movie, it spins off into Annabelle, and then you also have other spin-offs like The Nun. The Nun is a spin-off from The Conjuring.
Get out of here!
Yeah, like The Conjuring 1, that's where you get the Annabelle stuff. Okay. Conjuring 2, that's where you get the Nun from. Okay. The first Annabelle movie is terrible. The second one I thought was really good. And then the third one, it was okay. It wasn't bad. Okay. But I would say that it would be very helpful to watch or rewatch Annabelle Comes Home, so that way you understand more connections in The Conjuring 3.
Okay. I could do that. So yeah. I'm not going to watch
But I would also recommend just watching Annabelle 2 also, because Annabelle 2 is pretty dope.
So I'm not going to watch Conjuring 1 or 2. I'm going to just go straight into Annabelle.
I mean, you can. You know, Conjuring, if you watch Conjuring 1...
Which one's going to help me more? What's the
more is going to be Annabelle 3. If you are completely unfamiliar with the Conjuring universe, start with 1, go in chronological order. Like, go in film release order. Because 1 and 2 are going to get you familiar with the Warrens. They're the main characters. Like, if you just walk into Conjuring 3 and you don't know who the Warrens are, like, why are you walking into Conjuring at all? But if you want to understand the majority of like some of the intricacies and some of the inside jokes or inside references, Annabelle 3 would be the perfect movie to refresh yourself on. And it's an okay movie. It's decent.
Okay.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching. But aside from that, we've been checking out some of them new trailers that have been dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the Eternals, but nobody wants to talk about the Eternals no more.
Don't care.
Right? Because the Eternals came, they showed nothing, and it was easily forgot. Actually, I actually enjoyed the Shang-Chi trailer more than I enjoyed the Eternals trailer.
I agree with that. I mean, bro, like the only thing people are talking about with the Eternals trailer is the fact that, like, where the hell y'all been?
Yeah, right? Those are all the memes. There's like
y'all had all this stuff going on, and y'all pulled a Martian Manhunter from the Snyderverse. Y'all was just sitting there chilling and said like, "Hey, yo, we got y'all next time." Like you pulled a Wong from Doctor Strange. It was just like, all right, yeah, I'll be on. Well, I got you next time, bro. I got you back next
Right?
time.
Like,
You got the IOU.
and then they have the nerve to throw that joke in about leading the Avengers.
Right. Right.
The biggest theory is that if the reason that they weren't called in when Thanos was attacking is that it was one of the 14 million possibilities that Doctor Strange saw, and if they would have came, they would have lost, and it would have been a disaster. Can we all just No? You never heard this theory online? No, people are saying the reason that the Eternals didn't show up is because it was likely one of the 14 million possible futures that Doctor Strange saw during Infinity War, so that they wouldn't be a help, and then just decided to go the route that he went.
Why would they know that?
No, that they wouldn't know that. I'm saying those are online theories.
No, I'm saying, like, why would the Eternals decide, like, oh man, we're just not gonna help?
No, I mean, they were not intervening for whatever reason. They're abstaining.
But they had already decided not to intervene.
Maybe they decided. Yeah, I'm saying they're in the background. They're in the shadows. The Eternals might take place after Endgame, and this is going to be them intervening for some other event.
I don't think it's any of that. I think if it's similar to the comic that it's supposed to be based on, and I can't remember the exact run it was called, but when I did read the comic, they had their memories wiped. Like, they just forgot who they were. And if I recall, it was like Icarus that was kind of like on a mission to wake them up, you know, and help them remember who they are. And that's why they didn't intervene or whatever.
This sounds stupid.
I'm not. Listen.
Yo.
When I looked at the comic and I was like, wait, this is the story y'all basing this on?
So I
was very excited.
I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because of Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao has been, because she's a fantastic director. And what?
In what regard?
In storytelling, editing, and cinematography. She has a great visual flair, and she has a great way of knowing how to lead a narrative from beginning to end with very few words, right? So for her to be as skilled as she is with her type of directing style, for her to come into the world of Marvel and just be like, you know, like nobody's checking for her. Nobody's checking for her.
I would ask you this. Do you feel like she could make the transition from the indie world? Because I feel like the more art house crowd really appreciates Chloe Zhao.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that'll translate to the mainstream audience? Because I'm skeptical in that regard.
So
I think that people that the people that really like, you know, A24 movies and stuff, I feel like they are going to be like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. This was great. But for the mainstream, I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I think it'll translate well for the mainstream. I don't think it'll translate well for the typical Marvel fan, right? So those mainstream people who are like, you know, just hopping in and out of Marvel movies, not necessarily keeping up with the order or watching all of them, they watch the Eternals, they'll be fine. They'll be good.
Why would they even walk into that, though? Because Eternals look so fantastic.
I mean,
so out there.
I can't justify that. People get dragged into movies all the time, right? Captain Marvel made $1 billion at the box office, and I don't know why.
Oh, I know why. It was because of Endgame and Infinity War.
I mean, but still,
that was literally the only real reason. It was,
listen, Ant-Man.
Same thing with Ant-Man. If those movies did not get that bump from the addition of placement right before and right after, or Infinity War and Endgame, they wasn't gonna make that much money.
Ant-Man
just wasn't.
How much did Ant-Man make?
I don't know.
Ant-Man, I think, made like $500 million. And that was right after Infinity War, right?
So the first Ant-Man made...
No, the second one.
About 520. Made 520. The next one made 622. So not only the benefit of, you know, the sequel, but you also had that little Avengers Endgame Infinity War. Because it was like the first movie after Infinity War.
It was. So this is my question. if that was the first movie after Infinity War and it stalled at, I won't even say stalled, it stopped earning at 622,000. What on earth carried Captain Marvel to over $1 billion?
Captain Marvel was right before Infinity.
It was after.
Was it after or before?
It was after. It was like,
well, let's see.
I'm pretty sure it was after.
I can't remember sometimes. Hold on.
Because they had the scene where they
showed
the
up
snap at the end, and remember the after credit scene with the snap in it.
Oh, okay. So it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Captain Marvel.
Oh no, or was it Captain Marvel
right
and then
No. It was Infinity War, Ant-Man 2, and then Captain Marvel. Yes. So Captain Marvel was the first thing before Endgame. So of course we was thirsty because we was like, what's going to happen in Endgame? We just got off of Infinity War. We need to see if Captain Marvel.
We had already, but that's what I'm saying, right? Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't do as much as Captain Marvel, even though it came out after Infinity War. But it came out after Infinity War.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing: Black Panther through the roof.
Yes.
Right before Infinity War.
Yes.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not so. It did better than its previous. That's all it has going for it. Captain Marvel through the roof right before Endgame. Spider-Man: Far From Home. What did that do?
Over $1 billion. 1.1 billion.
Right after
Sony's
Endgame.
Highest grossing film of all time.
Right after Endgame. At that. So I honestly just think Ant-Man is just not that popular. Because even before Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, fantastic movie, made some good money.
Fair.
I just think Ant-Man is the weakest link.
I still think that casual fans, not Marvel fans,
Thor made $850. Thor made $850.
Are going to enjoy the Eternals. I think this is going to be the sleeper movie, and at the end of the year, after it comes out, we're going to look back at it and have that conversation.
I think that will also depend on what Black Widow does. I'm just saying, like, if Black Widow gets people excited and because here's the thing, there is trepidation going into this new phase.
Yeah,
of
Black Widow is like the biggest question mark. Like that's the only one that people are concerned about, and she's the only established character.
What happens if Black Widow drops Ant-Man numbers, and it only gets like 500 million?
That's what we're expecting.
I don't know.
I don't think anybody's expecting it to do.
It's not gonna do $1 billion or nothing. I was sitting here thinking like, okay, especially since y'all coming out still like in June, July or something like that. Let's say pandemic kind of sort of loosens up a little bit. I think they'll be lucky to hit 600.
You know, it's because of the pandemic. I got to actually stop and think about that for a second.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
under normal circumstances, at least 500 million.
Yeah. So, and 500, I mean.
And that would be its high number. That would be, it's like, all right, it finally hit 500 million. That's where I would think it would have landed.
And I don't think it's doing Disney any favors that they're delaying and shortening the window release time.
Now I'm going to wait for the Disney Plus. I mean, it's only.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you sit here and tell me, okay, we're going to drop Black Widow, but 45 days later, that's just
this goes back to what I told you before, and
a month and a half.
We ain't got to go into this conversation too deep, but Disney is eating off of the streaming way more than the theatrical. Listen, the amount of value that the company sees in their subscription is way more than they see in their theatrical releases.
For now, long term.
No, I mean that is the long term. I'm saying movies are short term. The subscription model is the long term.
The subscription is what keeps you hooked. The movies are what they're going to feed and like blow people out the water. Because again,
you're talking about it from a creative Marvel perspective. I'm talking about from Disney.
I'm talking about financial
shareholder.
I'm talking about financially. Financially, they're going to make every time a Disney movie comes out, it's already going to have the self promotion.
But investors going to have the advertisement the subscription
of
thing.
The streaming shows. The streaming shows are going to build up all the hype.
I don't want to go too deep into it.
It's too late. We here now. All I'm saying is the Disney shows are not going to be. They're going to keep people invested. That's it. They're gonna keep you invested, but the
No,
real money maker,
because that's the
is
way
when
you're
all
looking
them
at Disney
people-
shows right now. You're still looking at it as if it's a place for the B characters. The way
It
Disney,
is.
the way Disney is building it up, and they're building it up with a solid foundation, is that eventually they're going to try to emulate the Netflix model, and this is going to be the home of our premiere releases, right? Netflix releases their premiere stuff on streaming. They don't release it in theaters, and they're
I don't
making
think that would happen.
way, and they're competing
Unless
with
they-
their earnings,
unless-
and their earnings
unless you're
compete with
talking about-
Disney.
I don't think they'll do that. Like let's say, okay, let's forecast 5 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just say X-Men are out. We finally have the next, huge movie, X-Men versus Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like traditionally, that should be the next $3 billion movie. That's what it should be, right? Ain't no way that's gonna drop on Disney Plus. It's just no way. You're not about to come close to the amount of money. I don't care how many subscribers you get. You're not going to get the
So,
amount of money.
I don't see
and
them
profit
doing that.
compared to going on.
I don't see them making that transition in the next 5 years. I see them doing like what they're similar to what they're doing now. Like if they were to do like an Avengers versus X-Men movie on Disney Plus, they'll have the little tie-in shows. Like maybe you'll see,
Sure.
the little versus ones with like Magneto
Yeah.
versus Iron Man, and they'll have a little one-off fight.
Yeah.
I see them doing that for now, but further down the line, in 10 years, it's going to be more transformative. I think that they're going to.
I don't see that happening, especially if theaters continue to prove to be a box office hit for them. Like if they're still making global money, especially with China, if they're still making billions,
if
they will
Netflix
be
didn't
fine.
come and prove that you can release,
What did Netflix prove? What did they prove when they put like Adam Sandler movies there?
That
they
you
would
can
get
that you can release
subscribers.
theatrical releases and make
huge
profit. Huge.
What was the profit?
Let me see. What are their current stock prices? I think it's higher than Disney's. I mean, like, what do you mean?
So it's the stock.
They shut down,
And they were doing this when there was like little to no competition. We don't get into that, but we already see companies are making big moves to compete.
They built up their empire, and now today they don't rely on theaters to make their money.
No, they don't.
Zero.
Because they were at first the only dog in town.
No, but I mean right now. I mean when they started doing the brand new original content releases of movies on Netflix, everybody thought they were crazy. They're like, "What were you doing? This is like worse than video on demand." People have already seen that there's no interest with these movies coming straight to video. They put John Travolta movies. They put all these washed up not B actors, but former A actors, Nicolas Cage, all those actors. Getting straight to video or straight to video on demand releases, and then Netflix is just coming along saying, "Hey, we're going to put Adam Sandler movies out," and they're like, "How do you think this is going to do better than Nicolas Cage? How do you think this is going to do better than?"
But Netflix also bleeds
Bruce
money,
Willis.
right? Like Netflix bleeds money.
But
they just spent over $400 million for 2 movies.
Yes,
for just 2 movies for the Knives Out.
You know what they say? It ain't tricking if you got it. So they got it. That's how well they got it. They built up so much equity in their brand based off of their strategy. All these other companies are trying to play catch up. These other companies
are coming for them. The other companies are coming for them.
But just remember, they're trying to catch up to Netflix when Netflix is doing the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So Disney is trying to catch up to Netflix, right? HBO is trying to catch up to Netflix.
Disney's close. Disney is like, knock, knock, knock. We outside. We just want to play. We ain't trying to jump you. We're not gonna come on outside, Netflix. We don't want to jump you, dog.
As a fellow Disney shareholder, I will not say anything bad about their attempts to catch up with Netflix.
Shoot, as a Netflix and a Disney shareholder, I don't care.
But my thing to say is, it's a lot more competitive than that, and I still stand by my statement, which has been consistent. Amazon is the one to watch. Everybody's looking at being distracted by Disney Plus, and they're being distracted by HBO Max. Amazon is the one to watch, and that's going to be the perfect segue because Amazon just made big moves. I said it before. Watch come December. Me and you are going to have a conversation about Amazon as a streaming platform, and it's going to be a different conversation. People in the comments, keep me honest. come December, when they release their Lord of the Rings, when all the dust is settled with their MGM stuff and all this stuff starts to be clear as far as what they're going to be able to do, please be assured, Amazon is going to be a very, very, very different streaming platform. We're going to look back at it and we're going to appreciate all the stuff they have. And I don't know about you, but they keep giving me a bunch of screeners. Like, I forget that they have 2 platforms.
I told you that. I told you. Once you get in good with them, that's it.
Yo,
you're just going to get stuff.
I appreciate them. They're such nice people.
I do too.
These nice people.
They're doing it very similar to Netflix. Like, Netflix will give you, they'll just keep dropping stuff.
You know what I like about Amazon is that I'm remembering, or at least I'm learning, they are also IMDb TV, right? So they have 2 platforms, so to speak, in which they're going to be providing us all this cool content. But they're going to it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to shake out now that they bought MGM. You got a lot of classics coming in, right? Like, I think the biggest one is obviously James Bond. That they have that now under their umbrella. So the question is now, like, are they still going to let that James Bond movie drop, or are they going to pull a Coming to America move where they be like, yo, come and watch the new James Bond flick on Amazon Prime. On Amazon Prime Video, I should say. I wonder if they do that.
That could be a huge move for them.
So here's my thing, right? Here's what I've been trying to figure out. What else do they have?
Who? MGM?
Yeah, like they spent
MGM. They're more classic movies,
dude,
than anything else.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Like, if Amazon had put that money towards, I mean, the purchase obviously wasn't the same, but had they bought Warner Media and done that, it would have been game over. It would have been like right then and there, y'all just became neck and neck with Disney.
Absolutely.
Right there. But this acquisition, I mean, I know Discovery just purchased Warner Media, so it was better for them. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't think Amazon is about to just all of a sudden knock people out just because they made that purchase. I think Discovery and Warner Media, whatever this new company that they're about to become, that's the new third game in town. That's going to be the new powerhouse.
Yeah.
So now Amazon, I think right now they just took the lead ahead of Apple, ahead of Peacock, ahead of Paramount Plus, and now they're a solid 4. But it's still Netflix, Disney, Warner Media, Discovery, and now Amazon.
This is just the first move.
It is. I'm just saying, it is right now.
So I'm starting.
Amazon is number 4.
Who are they going to buy next? So like when Disney started buying, they didn't buy one company, right? They bought Pixar, they bought Marvel, they had bought another company, but they picked up like 3 companies. Lucasfilms, right? They picked up like 3 companies at once to transform them as a brand. So my thing is, like, when what they're doing with Deadline, with MGM, is going to be just the first of many. Like, who else is up for sale at this point?
Hey, look, I'm waiting for Apple
to hurry up and buy Sony. Please hurry up and buy Sony.
I don't even think it'll be Sony first. I think the first person that should
Sony needs to go. Bro, Sony doesn't... Wait, didn't Sony just drop a deal?
With Netflix?
I think they just dropped...
They got deals with Netflix and they got a deal with Disney. I don't know how this is working. They got deals with everybody.
Yeah, well, for them, they're just like, yo, we ain't got no streaming platform, but we got content. Whoever want it, you can come license it.
They are not selling because they got that deal. Because the most valuable thing they got is that deal with Spider-Man. And
that's
anybody who buys them gets the deal with
biggest money maker until those movies start flopping again. Hey,
they're gonna keep re-upping with Marvel as long as Marvel keeps having them, and they're never gonna flop.
Hey, Marvel could be like, nah, we don't want your flops. Why do we want that floppy Venom 2? Why do we want that floppy not even Spider-Man 3, because Marvel's still doing that, but what is it? The Sable and Black Widow.
You mean Kraven with Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Oh man, I like that segue.
You like that, right?
That is a new thing. Aaron Taylor Thomas, he just got announced. Or I'm sorry, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
He just got announced to play the Spider-Man villain Kraven the Hunter
in a solo
movie.
Yo.
Now, I gotta say, we know he could do a Russian accent. While he was Quicksilver in Marvel.
This is dumb.
So he can do that.
This is dumb. Yo, why are good actors getting these B roles?
Because it's a lead role.
But Aaron Taylor Johnson deserves a better character than that, right?
I agree, but if you look at his filmography, he needs lead roles under his belt.
He had Kick-Ass, right?
Dude, when was Kick-Ass?
That was a long time ago. That was
Stop
like 10
playing.
years ago.
Let the man have a lead role. You see Dave Bautista out here trying to get a lead role in Army of the Dead. It's a resume builder. So let him have that.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Once you get attached with one superhero, you can't get another, right? Not everybody is Will Smith.
My man, it was just Quicksilver. And he was Kick-Ass. And he's about to be Kraven. Stop making up these things.
You can't be
not
that many.
True.
This is it. This is it. Look, this is too.
You know how many people done played multiple superheroes?
Name 5.
Chris Evans, Michael B. Jordan,
5.
Josh Brolin, Ryan Reynolds, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, come on.
Okay, all right, but this is like when you take the lead in something like this, it really is at least, let's say, a challenge to be recast. And my thing is like, Kraven ain't no like household name character.
Well, I'm not mad at the fact that here's my problem.
What's your problem?
And this is the same problem I had with Venom.
What?
99% of the villains created in the Spider-Man universe were in direct response to Spider-Man. They were not created in a sense like to be interesting without him. So, I mean,
Kraven might be the exception.
Creation was, hey, we need someone that can be a challenge for Spider-Man. What better than a hunter?
So,
and they created Kraven.
I would say Kraven might be the exception only because like Kraven was a big game hunter without Spider-Man, right? So he had a whole origin. He had like access to like powers and stuff before Spider-Man. His origin is actually more similar to Black Panther's, in which he gets like some herb or something that gives him super enhanced senses and stuff. So there is some potential for them to pull a story out of there.
The most interesting thing with Kraven is Kraven's Last Hunt. That is the one thing I'm looking forward to with Aaron Taylor Johnson playing in this role, because no, I said from the very jump years ago when it was just briefly announced that they were gonna. Matter of fact, I made a video before the announcement, and I said one of my top 5
solo villains that I would like to see is Kraven the Hunter. However, whoever plays Kraven has got to be able to act. If you understand Kraven's Last Hunt, and this is by far his best story arc in the comics, that is, I'm talking about the man became a drunk. He became like an addict. He, I won't ruin the final, reveal or whatever, but you need someone to act that drama piece out. And dare I say, and I don't think Sony is capable of this, but dare I say, if handled properly, that role could be Oscar worthy. And I say that in the same line, in the same breath of
the Joker standalone. But in order to make that work, you need Spider-Man. You need Spider-Man to push Kraven to that point of Kraven's Last Hunt.
You just need somebody to take that type of role that Spider-Man had, right? You could I would honestly be able.
You want to substitute Spider-Man?
I would
Kraven.
honestly say that narratively speaking, you don't need that role to be filled by Spider-Man. Spider-Man filled it great. He does, right? We're married to the idea of it being Spider-Man.
So what you want him to chase? Some big old white whale? Now it's a Moby Dick story.
That's essentially what it was. It was a Moby Dick story. He was Ahab chasing Spider-Man around New York City.
Sure. So tell me this one big thing that we care about now.
About what?
But then you know what? I take that back. because Sony, they already took Venom
Right?
without Spider-Man,
They got
and made him a
Morbius
whole
coming.
complete joke. They made it a whole joke. They was like, no, we're gonna make this a buddy cop thing.
Yep.
So they're probably gonna make Craven something else that's stupid, unrelated, and just dumb.
And mainstream will love it and eat it up. They just want to see
Unfortunately.
Venom making breakfast for Eddie Brock and singing. This is what they
It's
want.
so stupid.
800 million at
That
the
is
box
so
office.
stupid. It is
800
stupid.
800
I hope it fails. I hope it
So
fails.
this is what I'm talking about when I say there's a difference between the Marvel fan and the mainstream fan. It's not the same. It's not the same crowd.
Okay.
It's not. These are the people
Okay.
supporting Venom.
Okay.
There's a lot of actors that get tied up in these types of roles too. I was actually a little disappointed when I first saw that Ben Mendelsohn was cast as Talos, as a Skrull,
All right.
because he's a fantastic actor.
He is.
Right.
And he's getting another shot later.
I want to see him
He's doing Secret
without the
Invasion.
makeup. I want to see him act.
He was in
not be-
Captain Marvel. He was acting. He was. And maybe he'll come back
So, like,
as the
I
dude.
remember in Rogue One when he came out and he was that villain.
Sure.
That's the kind of performance I want to see from Ben. I don't want to
Sure.
see him being jokey, but a joke kind of comedic duo with Samuel L.
You mean
Jackson.
like how Venom is?
Yeah, I don't want that.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Marvel fan.
Oh, okay.
The worst one was probably Matt Damon. That's still like the biggest sin casting I've seen in Marvel thus far.
They're still gonna do more of that.
Yeah,
than
they're
that.
bringing it back. Like, what are they doing?
Like they're doing Matt Damon. They're bringing Melissa McCarthy in, so she's probably gonna play Hela this time. That'll be funny. She's gonna be like a overweight Hela. I think that'll be hilarious if they put her in that spandex, and you go see her catching the hammer.
Yeah, I can't do this. Yeah,
I forgot who the other person is that they getting. They're getting somebody else. I forget who, but I think Thor is gonna be dope.
I think Thor's gonna be great.
Yeah,
I think
like if it's anything like Ragnarok, I think it'll be really good.
I could do with a little less comedy in this story.
I could also do with a little less comedy, and honestly, I think it would be much better with less comedy because of what is it, Gore the God Butcher?
Yeah, no, hold
Or whatever.
on. That's another thing. This movie is overstuffed. It sounds
With?
very overstuffed
With
with Gore the God Butcher.
Jane.
Russell Crowe is Zeus.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be a short cameo.
Maybe
Yeah.
it depends if they introduce Hercules or not. Then
Sure,
Jane
maybe.
Foster Thor. Yeah,
Sure.
and that's a lot. Jane Foster enough and Gore is like a story in and of itself. And then they're
Yeah.
hinting more with Matt Damon. Maybe Loki will be in it, maybe he won't, kind of thing. And yeah, there's a lot that this movie implies. Like it's gonna be stuff. Oh yeah, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're in this too.
Man, I don't think they're gonna drop Thor off. Like Star Lord is gonna be like, all right, man.
I don't know.
Hey, Thor, why don't you go to the bathroom and we'll be back? And then they're gonna be gone. I think it's gonna be 5 minutes. It's gonna be the funny intro that we got from Thor Ragnarok when he was fighting with Surtur, and that's it. I don't think it's gonna be like a huge thing where the Guardians are a integral part of the. Think about the billing and the casting
the
for
only
that.
reason
They're
I
not gonna
say
do
that is because Chris Pratt has been in Australia for a long time. When he was on Instagram today, he was on Instagram promoting the Tomorrow War. He was in his Star-Lord look. He wasn't in his other character. He's still in character. I mean, like filming started months ago, and he's still there.
So
that
maybe reshoot. That happens too.
Ain't no that makes me feel like it ain't no 5 minutes.
I
don't think.
If anything, I think it might just be him and Thor.
If anything,
because they're gonna try and play off of their little rivalry or whatever from Infinity War and Endgame. So
I would say it's gonna be an extended cameo, right? It's gonna be like
that's all.
Doctor Strange. Like they're gonna show up at the beginning, then they'll show up at the end to help.
Yeah. I think it'll be like 5 minutes, and that's about it.
Nah, I'm thinking
we get our
5
laughs
at the beginning, 20 at the end. I think they'll be in
it
the
ain't
last
gonna be
act.
that much.
I think
Ain't
they'll
gonna
be in
be
the
that
whole last act.
No, because keep in mind, the Guardians, they still have another mission. They're still trying to go find Gamora. It's like, okay, Thor, we had fun with you. Drop you off. Now we go.
No, Thor went with them.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Him and Star-Lord are not going to get along. They gonna just kick him out.
They ain't kicking him
drop him off somewhere. And then Star-Lord's gonna be like, oh, where's Thor? I don't know.
Nah,
all right,
Drax,
Lightspeed.
Everybody else loves Thor. Everybody loves Thor.
And Star-Lord is gonna eject him and be like, all right, we out of here.
You don't know.
Did y'all? Hey,
you keep acting
where's
like
Thor?
you got.
I don't know. Thor had to leave.
Telling you the story. You don't know. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok's gonna be fun.
Thor 4.
Thor
got him. What is it? Love and
Thunder. What did I call it? Ragnarok.
Love Thunder. Yeah, Ragnarok.
Yeah, I hope Beta Ray
we
Bill
already saw
shows
that
up.
one. We saw that one.
I hope we get Beta Ray Bill.
And you over here talking about overstuffed casting. Stop it. I give him to me in a post-credit scene.
They might. I don't know. Maybe we'll see his race.
Sure. I mean, we did kind of already.
Did we?
Yeah, I think it was in Guardians. It was one of the people in the tubes.
I don't remember.
It was either Guardian. No, it was in Thor Ragnarok. We saw a statue.
We saw the statue. Yeah, I saw that. I remember that. But I mean, like
I think he was a past champion or something.
I want to see
or maybe his people.
Like his actual, like he don't get horse face until he gets a hammer. I want to see like his regular face. That Tomorrow War trailer was boring. I ain't even gonna touch it.
You didn't even finish it.
No, it was boring. It was not. It wasn't boring. It wasn't that it was boring. It's that it was It looked like a Netflix movie, an Amazon movie, straight to video. So I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. Like I don't need to see more than this.
I like the concept of it. I thought it was cool. I'm always a fan of time travel when you can properly and simplistically introduce the complexities of time travel. And the fact that, the basic concept of this is somewhere down the line in the future, the human race is about to become extinct or near extinct, probably due to some alien invasion. So this resistance group has to go back in time to draft the people from the population in the past to come to the future to fight against these aliens to make sure that the human race survives. I think that's dope.
Which sounds
now I'm interested, like, okay, are y'all doing Back to the Future time travel where it's all one single timeline, or are you doing alternate universe, alternate timelines? So like I'm just more interested in the sci-fi and how they gonna play with it.
What if you accidentally get your parents killed? Like you from the future, you go back.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, first of all,
get your grandparents, and they like.
You mean when you go back?
Yeah, like you recruit them into the war, you bring them to the future, and they die fighting the alien. What's gonna happen to you? Are you gonna disappear?
Nothing. Because just because they time travel in the future, that becomes their new time. They die.
See, this is what we got to see the movie for.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, are they going to an alternate timeline? Are they going to a singular timeline? How are y'all dealing with this? Because you're kind of creating a paradox.
And they said something in the trailer. There was like 70% of the people that go in don't come back or they die. Yeah. So I'm like, what are the ramifications of that? Like, what does that mean? Does that mean, like you said, that, oh man, daddy went in the future and did this? Does this mean I don't have a daddy?
Like, I'm with you on that.
I need to ask the director something like that. Like, bro, I'm gonna need you to explain, how does time work in this world?
So, yeah, I'm with you on that. This looks like it's going to be a fun movie. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Yeah, right. I feel like it's
I
going to
think
be a fun movie.
I think you're right. It's perfectly fit for Amazon. Like, I'm not gonna have any qualms watching this on Amazon at home.
This reminds me of like watching like a rock movie, like Rampage.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Or Doom.
Or Doom, right?
without being as bad.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm cool with this when it comes to Amazon.
I have similar expectations of this that I had for Army of the Dead.
Exactly. Actually, I had high expectations for Army, only because of Zack Snyder.
I had low expectations. I had fun with it, but I know that's been having mixed expectations or reactions from people.
I don't know who this director. Who's the director for this?
Chris McKay. He's the guy that did.
Oh, Chris McKay
most of
did
the Lego movies. He did the Lego movie, Lego Batman.
That was him.
Yeah. So I'm more interested to see, like, okay, how you
going to transition about live action? Yeah, is he going to be the next Brad Bird? Because Brad Bird did great.
Could be. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I think he's done some live action like in the past. I don't know if they were full features or just shorts, but you know, I'll just be like, yo, like, how you feel about this?
You know,
like,
he's attached to the Nightwing movie, right?
Was that announced?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Nightwing was announced.
I didn't know if that had legs.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be directed by Chris McKay, and it's got writers and everything.
Oh, okay.
We'll see what happens. What else? Oh. Your boy, Kevin. Your boy Kevin. I don't know anything about this story. I looked at like the headlines and like, you know, I guess some of the co-stars ain't with it. On Kevin Spacey? Who are you talking about? Yo. No, one of them died by suicide. Wait. A third accuser died on Christmas Day of 2019. Hold on. What? Hold on. What is going on? I can't read the full story. Okay. Hold on. I gotta find this article. I just got so distracted. Yes. Hold on. Oh my god. 3 died in 1 year. 3. Hold on. Wait, stop laughing. These are people. Don't do that. Yeah. Alright, so Spacey's first accuser was Anthony Rapp, who claims Spacey made an advance at him at 14. Alright. Many members of the House of Cards crew made the same complaints. Okay. Anthony wasn't the first person. In September, another accuser died, although his name is unknown. The man who was a massage therapist was suing Spacey under the name of John Doe for sexual assault. A third accuser died on Christmas Day of 2019. Ari Behn, a Norwegian author and ex-husband of Princess Martha Louise. I don't... No. No. No, I don't want to talk about Kevin. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Canceled.
Bro.
Oh man.
I don't want to talk about him just like I don't want to talk about Kwame Brown. Like, Kwame Brown is a great person in life. That's all I know.
Yes. Oh man. All right.
That's all she wrote.
Let's go back to the other Kevin. Kevin Feige. Your boy Kevin. You're Kevin. So you did do a video on this one, a 15-minute video about his regrets about whitewashing.
And Doctor Strange, because he was like, man, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, that could have been a role that could have gone to a traditional, to an Asian actor. And they were trying to avoid the Asian cliche of, oh, well, it's always got to be a wise Asian person. Like that's what they were trying to avoid. Now, Scott Derrickson, who directed Doctor Strange back in like 2016, he did a interview because keep in mind, there were protests about this. There was a whole like China Tibetan thing, and there was some political backlash and stuff, and Disney was trying to avoid all of that. So, because the Ancient One is traditionally from Tibet. The reason that was given by Scott Derrickson, the director, was, in so many words, they were like, yeah, we basically thought we were being diverse by casting a middle-aged white woman, because normally, those type of roles would go to some younger, hotter actress in leather pants. Again, paraphrasing. So in his mind, and maybe Marvel's mind, they were like, yo, we're going to give middle-aged white women a shot because that's diversity in age, because, older white women don't get as many roles compared to younger white women. However, they've also lost sight of the fact that older white women, like Tilda Swinton, ain't hurting for roles compared to older Asian actors. That was a classic situation of them overthinking the situation,
or narrowly thinking, right?
Or narrowly thinking, absolutely. And this is, it's starting to become something that is a little bit worrisome. And I know for me personally, this is one of my many reasons why I can't fully trust Marvel when it comes to representation. They are geniuses when it comes to making movies, when it comes to casting and stuff. However, when they try a little bit too hard, they overthink things. It makes me question, like, okay, Kevin Feige, who's also in the room with you when you're making these decisions? Because having one Asian person in a room full of a bunch of, let's say, white people is not enough. It's because you don't know the pressure that one person of color is going to have when it comes to, like, let's say you guys make a decision. And all these white people are like, yeah, we should make the Ancient One white. Oh, yeah, because, white older women, they don't get a shot. Hey, Asian person, what do you think? Sure.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's pressure there. I'm just saying, it's a possibility. Now, if you're doing this and you're like, yo, we're going to do Shang-Chi. Yo, we got a room full of Asian consultants, or maybe even people with creative power. What do y'all think? Should we go this route, that route, whatever? Because we don't have the insight. We don't know how the Asian community is going to feel about this or that or whatever. Is this cliche? Is this bad? Is this offensive? Is it not? Y'all let us know, because that's our blind spot. I don't know if these type of things
Why
are
don't they
always
just have a board? Right? How about that? How about a cultural sensitivity board about your casting?
That would be amazing,
right?
I don't know if they do,
right?
But I think that you also have to give that board some level of power too, right?
Like it's crazy that they're actors.
It can't just be there in name.
No, it has to be able to have some actual power. I agree.
Yeah, like it has to be something like, yo, Kevin Feige, you know, if we give you this decision, you know, sure, you could overrule us because you got the money and stuff, but at the same time, like, we let you know this.
Right? We told you, because we advised you, it was on record.
Here's the thing, like, Marvel they're definitely doing multiple things, right? So they're tapping into, you know, Kamala Khan. You know, so they're going into like more Middle Eastern, you know, different. I don't know if it's Indian or Asian. Sure, they're going with the Asian feel with different things. They're obviously doing the Black Panther stuff, which of course I also can't trust them with that.
I just want to know if people behind the camera is going to be as diverse. Because
I don't care too much about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's important, but I think what's far more important is that you're putting people in positions of power that actually can have a say in how we're represented in front of the billions of people out there. Like, if you just sit here and tell me like, yo, our key grip is black, yo, our sound guy is Latino, okay, that's great. But if you put out a product in front of the millions and billions of people and it's terrible with its representation, that carries more weight to me compared to who's behind the camera. I want to know, like, who's making the creative decisions, and, you know, is it coming from a straight line of white folks?
I'm with you to a degree, because I want those people who are like, you know, the blue collar workers that are sitting there in Hollywood and Atlanta and all these areas where they're producing. I want these people to get jobs, right? I want them to be considered for these opportunities for work. And right now, one of the big things is that, you know, and we know how this affects generationally, how that only giving certain people of certain backgrounds jobs will have a long lasting impact. So I think it's equally important to have, you know, the representation behind the camera as it is in front of the camera, and these decision makers. I think
I wouldn't say it's equal, but I agree that it should happen.
I think it's equal, because I think it has a more tangible effect than some movies do. This is like somebody's actual life. If they get a job, right? Their kids' lives, things like that.
I guess.
Anything to stop these kids from stealing my rims. No, you don't get it? That's an old Chris Rock joke.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
What else did I have? Oh, did we talk about your boy
Hey, this is your boy now. Your boy JJ Abrams.
Your boy
your JJ. Main man. Your partner in crime.
Yo,
non-Ron Howard.
I haven't realized how much time had passed since episode 9.
I didn't care because I'd forgotten about episode 9.
Me too.
And 8.
No, I can never forget because of John Boyega constantly reminding me that we were robbed of a Jedi.
Oh yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I mean, look, he just came out, did an interview, and he was asked about like the idea of how much planning, you know, because look, they dropped the ball when it came to the franchise trilogy. When I tell you, if it was not for Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels to rekindle my faith and confidence in the Star Wars legacy, I would have been done. Like, if it was not for them, those shows, and The Mandalorian, if you did not have Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian, and The Bad Batch, I would have been completely done with Star Wars.
The only thing worse than Star Wars was the DC universe.
That's it. The fact that DC was bumbling it, I was like, man, DC, y'all messed up. And, like, yo, even Fox, when they were jacking up the X-Men,
yo, that was better than Star. Yo,
I was like, at least y'all had a plan. The plan sucked, but at least y'all had a plan. You know, I'm sitting here like, Star Wars? Yo,
No, they
y'all got all that money, all that talent, all them name brands behind, and y'all
No.
still mess that up.
So here's the thing that JJ isn't saying. They did have a plan. The plan fell apart,
Yeah,
right? Because they were supposed to have Colin Trevorrow direct the third movie, and Colin Trevorrow's story was going to link into Ryan Johnson's story.
Yep.
But because he didn't like the,
was he supposed to do 7? I thought he was supposed to do 9.
he was supposed to do 9. So JJ was supposed to do 1. Ryan Johnson was supposed to do 2, and Colin was supposed to do the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And Colin had a great story in mind.
I read a little bit about it. I don't remember it because I was so tainted from what I saw, but you know,
it's not super different from what we received in some of the moments, but as far as like the execution and certain things, it was really off. So for one, he really wanted to use Luke Skywalker, and Disney was like, no. Yeah, Ryan's gonna kill him. So that was a big problem, and he didn't like the idea was Ryan was gonna kill him, and Disney sided with Ryan. So Disney dropped the ball there, right? Because they wanted to give these directors, or at least they promised these directors, a level of freedom and control in the product that they didn't want to deliver.
And they probably should have just switched it at that point. Like, yo, if you're gonna kill Luke, just kill him in 9. Don't kill him in 8. I mean, I get it that you want to show. First of all, it's Star Wars tradition. Like, don't nobody just live forever. People die, you know. And the whole thing, and you got to blame Obi-Wan, where he said, "Yo, I'll be more powerful than ever before as a Force ghost." So they made Luke more powerful.
This whole thing was stupid. All right,
it was
terrible.
They ruined a lot of things. Like I said, if it was not for Clone Wars and everything, I wouldn't even care. If I didn't have my Ahsoka Tano, my Baby Yoda, you know what I'm saying? Like Ezra. Man, you ain't even watch all those, have you?
Nope, and I ain't.
You don't.
I ain't got time.
Whatever, man.
You know why?
Whatever, man. You like to go watch Sweet Tooth and
you know what I watch.
You don't like
Sweet
quality.
Tooth is fucking amazing.
You don't like quality.
Just wait.
That's it.
Sweet Tooth
you
is
don't
amazing.
Like quality.
Sweet Tooth didn't make me watch a whole season before it got good.
Whatever. Man. You don't care about character development. It's fine.
I'm sitting here.
It's fine. You don't. You don't care. You look. You don't have the patience for great quality. You just don't, and that's okay. I'm glad you're honest about it. You don't. You're impatient. You want great customers. You want great character development immediately right out.
Gosh, no! I want you to make it. I want it to be interesting right out the gate.
There we go. There it is.
Not like
no
Castlevania. And
no
I'm
patience.
On season 2, episode 40, and shit's still building up.
Okay. All right.
No, it's getting slightly less boring.
Okay.
But I'm gonna keep going. I wasted my time watching Dragon Ball Heroes, but it warmed me up. Now I could put up a Castlevania.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
Man, you know, I was gonna try that other joint. I went to the movies to go see. What did I see in the movies? Mortal Kombat. And when I went to go see Mortal Kombat in the movies, there was an anime in the movie theater. It was Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer is dope.
Yo, Demon Slayer's on Netflix.
That's probably one of the next top 3 animes for the past 5 years. Like, it's one of those top ranking ones, and it's only like 20 episodes, one season.
See, this is my
the next one.
Why you ain't tell me this?
And
there's a movie. I don't believe it.
I did tell you this.
I'm gonna
tell you we're here right now, so it's on camera. So it's in front of the audience.
Hold on, let me hit.
Go watch. Go watch Demon Slayer. Okay. Mm-hmm. Go watch My Hero Academia. Okay. Yes, that's legit.
Okay.
That is legit.
Listen.
And
hold on, and that's it. That's it, because
Alright.
I gotta
I won't
actually
I won't even
review
give you more.
stuff too, right?
I won't
I
even
gotta,
give you more.
I gotta review.
You go
stuff
watch
too.
those two. You go watch those two.
All right.
First of all, the one thing you
Just
want to
wanted to
look
be clear
for
that
in
TV.
Demon Slayer is the
Man,
animation,
be on that list. You will not regret
especially
it.
in
Especially with the
episode.
Darth
I want to
Maul
say
and
it's
everything, you
18.
won't
You'll know
regret
it when you see it.
So good.
It is by far
What
the
else
most
is coming up?
beautiful
You got anything
animation
else you wanna
I've
recommend?
ever seen in any anime ever.
Recommend?
Beautiful.
Nah,
Like,
just Army of
if
the
there
Dead.
was a better word for beautiful,
Thanks for
I
checking
would
out our
use that
video.
word.
If you guys are
I
new
don't-
to this
I
channel,
don't
do me a
think
favor,
spirited away.
hit that like
I don't
button.
know.
I
If you
don't
want to see
care.
more,
It
make
doesn't
sure you
matter. I've
subscribe.
seen the most hardcore
recast
Spirited
T'Challa.
Away fans
And
go watch
recast
Demon
T'Challa.
Slayer and come back and say, "Yo, this blew me away." Okay, so all I'm saying, Demon Slayer. I don't know anybody that's gonna see that show and disagree with that. And I'm not gonna say what happens, but it is literally one of the top 2 at best animations I've ever seen. Like, just period. And My Hero Academia, that is just fun. 110%. 110%.
I'll try it. I will try it
I think you will have a very good time with it.
after I finish Castlevania.
You must finish Castlevania. There's not a person alive that's gonna sit here and tell you Castlevania ain't worth watching.
All right. I'm doing it. Right? I'm doing it. I'm watching Castlevania. I'm gonna keep pushing through it. Then I'm gonna try to watch Demon Slayer. Hopefully, movie theaters are still hurting for movies, and it's still in theaters. I want to go back to the movies. And see another movie. I just got this T-Mobile Tuesday to go see A Quiet Place again. I was thinking
That's
about
a
it.
good idea. Make that happen.
All right. Movies and the movies are open. Everything's open. The pandemic is over.
I mean, shout out to all us vaccinated folks.
So in New York, I know, right? At this point, that's what it is. At this
Do
point,
your thing. I'm talking to who I'm talking to.
So at this point in New York, we're lifting all of our COVID restrictions, right? They've already announced schools will be back in session next year. No remote learning as an option. They have not yet required children to get vaccinated. We don't have requirements for masks indoors or outdoors, and we're officially removing all capacity limits by July 1st. Even in offices, at work, my coworkers walk around with no more masks. It's not required. If they're fully vaccinated. That's the rule. If they're fully vaccinated, they don't need to wear a mask. But we're going on the honor system.
Of course. Have fun with that. Enjoy yourself.
New York is open. The pandemic is over. Movie theaters are bouncing back.
The pandemic is over. Okay.
Pandemic is over. Everybody's
Okay.
over it. Everybody is over it.
Okay.
So the only reason, and I joke, but I say this as a joke, just to kind of preface this. But a lot of people are going back to some semblance of normalcy with their day-to-day lives, regardless of the safety of it.
Didn't I say this what was this? Like our first couple shows when we were talking about streaming is gonna kill theaters. No, it ain't. Theaters might not make that much money, but people will still go to theaters.
So this summer, the biggest thing that I said about it back then was that there will be another maybe potential overwhelming of the hospitals that could negatively impact the performance of theaters this summer again. And that's still a possibility, right? There's still a whole bunch
Especially
of
if people go out there maskless and not vaccinated and they start making the cases go back up.
Yeah, but that's the thing that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of people who are not vaccinated who are just going to roam the streets freely.
Hey, and at this point, that's on them. I'm just saying, they're risking themselves because the people that are vaccinated, at least right now, what the science is saying, if you vaccinated, you have a very low chance of transmitting, and even if you catch it, you probably will become asymptomatic and not deal with it. So, the only people right now that are risky are the people that are not vaccinated and they still going around. Now, if you're around other vaccinated people and you're not vaccinated, okay, you might be okay. But if you are not vaccinated, your family's not vaccinated, and one of them catches it, all of y'all could be popped. So,
how do you think this will affect? movies this summer, movie
It,
theaters.
it's I think and again, this will depend on the state. You still got to wear your mask and stuff, and I think that it's going to depend state by state, right? So like, if a state gets to the point where their cases are going down, the vaccinations are going up, or whatever. I mean, whatever gets them in the green, whatever gets them in the safe levels according to CDC guidelines, then I think that, once things open up and once, states are not having, like you mentioned, hospitals being overloaded and stuff, things will open up. People then are going to have to make their own personal decisions. Like for me, I am vaccinated fully, but I still go out with my mask wherever I go. Even if those people might be vaccinated or whatever, I don't trust folks because people lie. You talking about the honor system, I don't give them that honor. Okay? So for me, I'm just like, it's okay. Do what you want to do. I'm still going to keep my mask on just in case.
You don't trust me?
Bro, this is a new virus that don't nobody really know nothing about, and we learning new things every day.
I mean, we trust the
I
CDC.
don't need to take no extra just chances with that.
I
So,
ain't even touch
I
on this.
rock
I'm
my
going
mask
into loaded
for the
conversation.
Year until I see 0 cases.
Do you think A
maximum-
Quiet Place 2 and Black Widow are going to have a good showing at the box office? Because I'm going to say this. I think A Quiet Place 2 is kicking off the summer films.
I think it's relative to what we think. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yo, this movie did really good for this year. Like, honestly, I would take all the totals from this year and throw them out. I would just throw them out. Like, right now, they're sitting here talking about, like, remember when the pandemic first started? The movie that was in theaters, somebody reminded me of this. Do you know what movie was like the last blockbuster hit in theaters while the pandemic was going?
No.
Bloodshot.
Oh, yeah. I saw an ad for it recently.
Bloodshot was like the #1 movie for like 7 weeks, even though wasn't nobody going and no other movies was being released.
Yeah.
So like those numbers are so skewed, because look, on a normal circumstance, Bloodshot would have been blown out the next week. Nobody was going to be coming to see that movie. So
Vin Diesel really tried. He's been trying to get another franchise for years.
And he just had to make that movie all about him.
I mean,
Couldn't even a Bloodshot.
No. His movies are about him. If you ever saw The Last Witch Hunter,
Oh, yeah, I have all him too. Yeah.
he's even started telling people about
Even
his Dungeons and Dragons.
When a role is presented for him to stretch and to be something else, to transform, he still got to go back to himself.
That's why they made him Groot. Like, nah, bro, you could be in it off camera.
Yeah, like
Keep
stay
this
there.
line.
Matter of fact, since Dave Bautista said that he don't want to be Drax no more, I wouldn't mind if they made Vin Diesel Drax. Why not? But then again, I don't think Vin Diesel want to walk around shirtless either.
Nah,
And
he's old.
Didn't Drax get like a vest or something in the comics? Like they can't put a shirt on this man.
He got a whole cape and everything. We don't need that.
Like Batista was sitting here talking about, like, man, I'm getting old. I don't want to be going shirtless, bro. They can't get you a shirt.
Yo, they
They
done made.
got the whole nano suit. I think they could get you a shirt. Just saying, get him a shirt.
Batista is just posturing because it's time for him to re-up his Marvel contract. That's what they always do.
Shout out to Batista for retweeting my Army of the Dead review.
Ooh.
So I got nothing negative to say.
Oh, my bad. He's off limits. But yeah, he's doing good. He's doing very well for himself. I think he's negotiating right now with Marvel for more appearances.
I mean, I think that's part of why he took that, role for Army of the Dead. Like, when you start showing, like, hey, look, for actors, when they start increasing their pay rates, you have to pay them more. You can't be like, oh man, I just did this blockbuster movie.
That's a tricky game to play with Marvel, though.
Huh?
Marvel don't like to pay their actors. We know this.
They don't.
They did that one deal with Robert Downey Jr. and they never made that kind of deal again, right? They had to do it at the beginning because they were hurting for money.
Other people. They have re-upped other people,
But they haven't made that kind of deal.
Money.
Robert Downey got money on the back end. right?
Yes.
He got his upfront money, which
Yes.
was like really little, and then his back end money.
He was like, "Give me that percentage from anything
No
Avengers
other actor
related.
gets
If
percentage.
it's an Avengers movie, I want
no,
some
if
of that."
he's in it.
That's
If he's in it, right?
Yeah, well,
so
yeah,
if it's an
yeah.
Avengers movie, he's in.
Yeah.
So they had to make special deals with him to appear in the Spider-Man movie because that wasn't a
And
Disney
he got
film.
paid. How much was it? He got paid stupid.
Stupid money for that.
Hold on. I actually do want to look that up.
He got
Right.
paid. I want to say he got paid like over 10 million for it.
Spider-Man. I think it was 10 million for like yes. He was paid $15 million for 3 days of work on Spider-Man Homecoming. With 15 minutes of screen time, he got paid $1 million per minute. For 3 days work. They was like, "Bro, we're gonna give you $5 million just to come and work for 3
Marvel's
days."
not making those type of deals no more. If you notice, they avoid a certain level of actors, right? There's a reason Matt Damon's playing the Loki background character, right?
Yeah,
Right? Because they know Matt Damon would want.
Marvel does what like a smart NBA team would do, right? A smart NBA team would be like, "Yo,
I'm gonna get
we
some
not
role
going
plays.
for them first draft picks. We about to scout and scout heavy. And look, there's this kid named LeBron James. Yo, let's just pull him right out of high school before he becomes the number 1 pick. Let's give him a 7-year contract. We gonna pay him maybe $20 million for 7 years, the most money he'll ever see. And boom, there you go. We lock him down. So then by the time that 6 year comes up, he already the number 1 player in the whole league. Marvel could be like, "Hey man, we pay you that full $200 million that you deserve." You know, and that's the same thing. That's what they did with Brie Larson. You know, they locked her down. That's what they did with Chadwick. Chadwick was infamously known for having a ridiculous contract. They said it was like $5 million or something like that. It was something.
It was like $5 million for 3 films or something. He
No,
got
it was
400.
I think it was $3 million for 5 films because for Black Panther he only made like $500K or something like that.
No, he made $500K. I thought for Civil War.
Let me see.
So regardless, they don't pay people like that. That's the point. That's the
They
moral of the story. The only other person I think that got a little bit of money was
he made $2 million on Black Panther.
Was Sam Jackson, and that was because Sam Jackson had them by the balls, like because they used his likeness without his permission for years, and he was going to sue the hell out of Marvel for it. And in the back end, he was like, "Listen, I won't sue you if you put me in your movies," and they do it. They honored it. Like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Marvel don't pay people like that. I don't see them changing.
I mean, they will find people. I mean, here's the thing. There's no coincidence that they grabbed Chloe Zhao at this point. They grabbed her before.
Oh, they scouted.
That's what I'm saying. They grabbed her before she won that Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they was looking at Brie Larson at Captain America, Captain Marvel, they grabbed her like around the time she did Room, and they was like, "Oh no, oh she can act. Oh no, we gonna nab that. She gonna win Best Actress too. Oh, we need that. Nail that down. You know, oh this man Chadwick. Oh my gosh, like he about to do some things. Let's get that. Mahershala Ali, 2-time supporting Best Actor. We gonna nail that. Let's go. Jonathan Majors, this man can act. Have y'all seen Last Black Man in San Francisco?
That done went a little different in that conversation. They locking up all these specific kind of actors with these low contracts.
I'm just saying they know how to pick talent. That's why. Look, that's why I recast T'Challa. Everybody out there that's worried, like, oh, nobody's gonna be good enough. Marvel knows how to cast good talent.
How many signatures you got?
We over 35,000.
All right now.
Yeah, we over 35, but that's okay. Like I think it's gonna slow down a little bit for now, but it's gonna be something that is going to keep picking up steam, especially closer to the movie. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that still don't think Marvel. They don't believe Marvel's gonna kill off T'Challa, and I'm like, this petition is literally saying, just don't do that one thing. You could do 50 million different things. Just don't kill them off. And I think that if they end up doing it, people gonna be like, oh, I can't believe this. Why would y'all do that? All right, y'all got to recast. Y'all got to bring him back. And the petition's gonna get new life.
All right.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Okay. Well, that was all I had. Those were all my topics.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all you got.
That's all.
You ain't got no more news,
bro. I'm here for you.
Oh man. All right. Well, if that's it, then I'm gonna just go ahead and close out.
Man, this is your show.
Thank you.